pulling up to pick up my next rider here. I had a bit of a break there because there's really no one who needed a ride. But here we are. Here is my ride.
Hi, Liam.
Yes, welcome, Liam.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Doing great.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
My name is Biniam.
Oh, nice to meet you, Liam.
Likewise. Before we get too far in, Liam, I want to give you a quick heads up.
Yep.
In my Uber, I like doing something a little unusual.
Yep.
I get my riders to sing me opera.
Oh my God.
I'm kidding. I do not do any such thing. Can you imagine that?
That'd be pretty intense. Yeah. That'd be pretty hardcore.
No, I do no such thing. But I do a live stream, which is probably unusual.
Oh, okay.
So I just want you to have a heads up so you don't sort of divulge things. You're like, oh.
Yeah, no worries. No worries.
Yes.
That's A-okay, man.
Excellent.
That's A-okay with me.
Fantastic.
Are you on like Twitch or YouTube or?
So I've never actually figured Twitch out, or I'm not familiar with Twitch. I'm on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm transitioning platforms from TikTok, which was my main one, to
Okay.
YouTube now. And so, yeah.
That's sweet. That's cool, man.
Indeed.
That's really exciting.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
It is exciting, fun. Yeah, I'm enjoying it for sure.
It's a very different world, you know.
Being online.
Yeah, being that
Oh,
online
you're
and being kind of
totally correct.
public facing, right?
Yeah. I think there are many who aspire and are drawn to it.
Oh,
but
for sure.
in some sense, I would almost say there's also a cost to it too. A
Oh, I
cost
don't doubt it.
in that if one isn't open to being critiqued and dismantled that way, it's probably not the best place to be until you sort of that aspect out, right? But
Well, for sure, when you have that high degree of exposure, right, that can be challenging.
well, it's a brilliant thing when people say, I've got something to share, and when they put that on display, you know? But there's also that corresponding element of saying, part of this is also getting feedback, oftentimes, which isn't...
Yeah, people can be pretty fucking rude.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
pretty unkind, right?
Yeah. So I've told my followers that they can be as frank with me as they want,
Yeah.
up until a point when
It's
I just,
disrespectful.
well, when they start commenting critically on the way I perm my hair, then we have an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's insane.
I know,
That's-
there's
that's
some things
your body.
the way I perm my hair,
That's not for them to
I
say.
take delight in the curls and
Yeah, why not, right?
I know.
Why shouldn't you?
Outside of that, I've got a thick skin.
Yeah, 100%. I have a couple friends in the social media space, and it definitely seems intense.
You know, for me though, honestly, in all good spirit here, it's
Yeah.
been so much fun because I feel I'm in a space in my life where I'm older.
Yeah.
I know what I'm about.
Yeah.
I know.
You're comfortable with
I
yourself.
am. I'm quite
Yeah.
confident, and so when attempts are made to, try and bring discouragement or whatever else,
Yeah.
there's a certain mirth in it where I'm
Yeah.
like, you're aiming for this, but you missed.
Yeah, totally,
You
right.
missed in a royal way, because the real heart for why I'm here is in a totally different playing field,
No, 100%. I
Yeah.
totally understand that.
So that's what's made it a lot of fun for me, and also intentional by way of saying, yeah, I'm here on purpose.
Yeah, 100%.
I was so anticipating we might have gotten some sunshine today.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yesterday was brilliant,
Yeah.
but yeah, today I guess we'll take
Less so.
less so today.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Well, were you doing a lot of driving when we had that blizzard?
absolutely.
That was not good.
It was nuts out there,
It was
wasn't it?
nuts. It was really, really bad.
I think my job would have been even more difficult if I had a two-wheel drive, smaller vehicle.
Oh yeah.
That would
yeah.
have made it incrementally challenging.
My vehicle's a bit more teeny tiny. And
Okay.
I do a lot of driving for my work.
Yeah.
So I nearly crashed multiple
Oh,
times. and I was
no
like,
way.
I had my winter tires and
Yeah,
stuff. But
yeah.
after a certain point,
weight is helpful, and
you're just kind of
clearance.
fucked.
Oh, totally.
You know, you got zero chance, right?
I'm so grateful for this vehicle here because I mean it's heavier enough and it's got the all-wheel drive as well.
Totally.
So even like in the context of the work that I do as an Uber driver, it just gave me a lot more options to, like, I don't know, drive right up to a curb, you know?
Yeah, 100%. Well, because right now, like, you could just end up not being able to get it back out.
Totally.
Right.
Exactly. And when you're like when someone else is relying on you for transportation and you're stuck.
Yeah, that's
not
good.
setting. Yeah.
That's really not good.
Yeah. So I often think about that when I pull into these secondary streets that have not seen the plow yet, and they're, you know, just kind of deep in with their slush kind of thing. I'm like, oh, not easy.
No, for sure.
But on the tail end of one of the best falls I've experienced here
it was
so
so
far.
nice.
It was amazing.
It was really, really stunning.
It was amazing.
Right? You know, it lasted for a while too.
It did.
Right? So
it did.
You can't complain too bad.
That's why I'm not as begrudging this time for the winters.
Yeah,
approaching.
100%.
When it snowed, I'm like, all right, I guess it's about time. Okay, you can you can take up space now.
Well, you know, for me too, it's not even the snow that I find challenging about winter. It's just the dark.
Oh,
right. It gets so dark so early.
Yeah.
And it's just fucking brutal.
And
you know?
on top of that, like yesterday, for example, beautiful, clear day.
Yeah.
Went from -18 in the morning to like -2, -3, which is brilliant.
Totally nice.
Right? And then the sunset was stunning.
Yeah, and then you've got another 6 hours.
It was stunning, but it was at 4:30. I was like, beautiful, but it's too early.
No, 100%. 100%. I'm right there with you.
So you're like at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and you're thinking it's 9 o'clock at night, and you're like,
sucks.
no, it's different. It's different here, you know. But,
no, 100%. I mean, I was with a buddy of mine.
Yeah.
And we went climbing, and then we're in the gym, and then took us an hour and a half. It was pitch black. You know, it went from day to night so quick.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't even notice it. So
it's pretty fast, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm guessing Calgary's been part of your. Well, you've been here for a while.
Yeah. I've grown up in Calgary, so I'm Calgary born and raised.
You're one of those few.
Yeah, you know what? We should. I'm a big fan of how much Calgary's growing. Right?
You are.
Oh yeah,
that's amazing.
A million people.
Okay.
A million people. I firstly better food. So that's huge.
Yes.
But just bring everyone into Calgary.
I love it. Love it.
Got to, right?
You're the first one I've had who has such enthusiasm for that shift.
Well, I mean, people are weirdly, you know, it's not something I enjoy, right? My dad immigrated.
Yeah.
Some people are really anti-immigrant these days.
Yeah.
I'm so hardcore in disagreement with that because again, like we don't have good food first of all, but also like we're fucking in a plains.
Yeah.
You know, we can just keep growing, figure it out, right?
Yeah.
So.
That's awesome.
Yeah, 100%.
This is my first city proper in Canada since we moved here.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I've known for a long time I love the city. So being here, it's a relish already for me.
No, dude, Calgary's awesome.
Yeah.
Calgary's a really, really cool city, right?
And it seems to be like the city to be at now, nationally, because
for sure, completely.
Everyone's like saying, "Hey, it's affordable here," and
it's much. Toronto, you know, I think Canada kind of has like 4 world-class cities, right? You have Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, Calgary, right? Yeah. And of the 4, the only 2 that are semi-affordable is Calgary and Montreal.
Montreal as well? Okay,
Montreal's more affordable than people think,
okay,
right?
I did not know that.
You get less, the population doesn't grow as quickly, and property values are a bit lower because of the French aspect, right? So Toronto and Vancouver both had a huge amount of money poured in, right, from foreign investors.
Sure enough.
But the barrier to entry is lower, you know, because English is kind of that international business language.
Right.
But Montreal's a fucking beautiful city too.
I've yet to visit it, but I've heard so much.
It's awesome. It's really cool and
historical too, right?
Yeah, it's super historical.
Yeah,
super historical. Culture's awesome. Like
architecturally as well.
It's really stunning. It's stunningly beautiful. Like it doesn't look the same way that other Canadian cities do.
Yeah.
You know, they have a lot of the city is underground, right?
Really?
Yep, they
In
have a
Montreal?
big underground. They have a bunch of like shops and vendors and malls,
Really?
all of it underground to get away from the cold.
Whoa.
So, you know, which you just don't see anywhere
Yeah.
else in Canada,
Yeah.
right? So I haven't been in a while, but it's a really cool spot too.
I'm just fascinated by how we figured out how to do that, you know, like
Oh,
how
100%.
worlds underneath the ground that are supported and
Well, and you know, it makes, like, if it's such a, you know, somewhere as cold as Canada,
Yeah.
if you've got a dense urban core, why not, right?
Absolutely, right?
Right? It just
yeah.
makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've yet to visit Montreal, but
Definitely give it a look. Where did you move from to Calgary?
I grew up in from Calgary, sorry, Kamloops.
Kamloops.
In
Okay,
BC.
cool.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
where most of my growing up has been in BC.
Okay. Nice,
Smaller
nice,
setting
nice.
there, but
Yeah. Do
and
you prefer
nice.
the big city vibe?
Oh yes.
Yeah, I get that
Oh
vibe.
yeah.
I get that impression.
You do, eh?
Oh yeah. You seem pretty cosmopolitan.
That's awesome. For
Yeah.
one who's never been in the city, yeah, this is I like where, for example, Liam, a lot of the evolving thought patterns and
Yeah, culturally,
ideologies
you know,
are
it's more
happening.
progressive for
Yeah.
sure,
Yeah.
which is always nice.
Yeah.
You know.
Just where lots of people gather and make life happen. I love
Oh,
watching
100%.
that and saying, okay, here's
Here's where the world is moving.
yeah.
No, I
totally,
completely agree. I'm
totally.
a total urbanite.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I think I'd go crazy if I lived in a small town.
In a small
I won't
town,
lie.
yeah. It's just not enough for me.
Yeah, 100%.
I like reaching people.
And nothing wrong with that. Like
No.
all my friends from university, you know, I've never lived like more than 10 kilometers from the
Where you
core.
from? Yeah.
And all of my friends from university somehow were all from the same small town, you know, less than 1,000 people in
Yeah.
Ontario.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And, you know, they love that. They're big country guys. And it's
Yeah.
like, you know what? Good for you, man.
Yeah.
I could not. I'd go insane, dude. It would drive me nuts. But, you know, whatever floats somebody's boat, right?
One of the reasons I love this job is because in a setting like this,
Mm-hmm.
there's enough work, there's enough diversity of people that I get to
Yeah,
meet.
totally.
And even like with the work that I do, like just getting perspectives and inputs from a wonderfully broad range of you know,
Yeah, totally
backgrounds people
different
have.
people.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure you get, like, this is a good conversation starter, having the camera and the setup and
Yeah.
all that, right?
Yeah.
So that, you know, that makes perfect sense, right?
And even then, I'm also I had to do some work in trying to determine how do I find out where my yeses are. And
Yeah.
you know, just to make sure that
Oh, totally.
socially I'm on point that way as well too.
No, 100%. I
Yeah.
can understand that.
Indeed.
Well, I'm sure it helps with drunk people as well. That they know
Oh man, I have so much fun with them. People are like, but I'm like, yeah, they're still people and,
Oh,
and
100%.
splendid.
As long as they're not too drunk, like,
Yeah.
they could always be fun. Because I'm
Even-
sure they get excited.
Even then, I'm thrilled because they're with me instead of like behind a wheel, right?
Oh, 100%.
And for that,
well,
I'm
exactly,
so
right?
grateful, yeah.
And drunk driving is really no longer the thing.
No,
you know, and I'm glad I grew up
absolutely.
in that generation. Anyways, have a great day.
Nice
really nice to
to
meet
meet
you,
you.
man. Have a really enjoyable drive.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
Not forgetting anything.
Good. He was great, eh, guys? That was Liam. Huh. Great conversation. I did enjoy it. Yeah, he and I are come from the same mold. We love being in the city. It's our jam. All right, thanks for just tuning in again. Oh, actually, do you know what? Let me just keep you on the live stream. Another call just came in, and it's a good 20-minute ride. I'd rather just keep this live stream going because I can handle 20 more minutes on this one here. Yeah, let's do so. Hang with me while we drive to our next location. Thanks for tuning in, those of you who are on the live stream and those who are watching on the recording. Thank you for watching as well. I appreciate it. There's something about when you're able to meet someone in the mutual space of interest, right? And giving me your time this way, like by spending time watching these videos, I appreciate it. I do. There's my lights. Advanced green arrow, which is great. And we're just just going around the block here, so just about there. Like I was telling Liam, I'm so grateful that my vehicle can handle these conditions because, my goodness, some of these side streets, being in a small car, oh my goodness, that is so difficult. I would not enjoy my job as much if that was happening. Okay, we're just coming around the corner here. I think that's my location. It is, yes. Okay. Maybe I'll just turn around here and come back. I see my friend Hutton. How are you again? Thanks for tuning in, brother. So appreciate that. So there's no front door. There's a side door in this building. So I'll come right over here and await my rider. I love the music that I listen to. It's so good. Isn't this lovely? I'm glad you do too. Oh, all right. He beat me to the door. Hi, Daniel. Welcome aboard. How are ya? Did I park too close to the...
No, I just didn't your door on the...
Oh, I appreciate you doing that. Thank you, man. Daniel, my name is Biniam.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well, man. I like giving a quick disclaimer, not a disclaimer, but like a heads up at the start of my ride. I love putting people in very awkward scenarios, so I may get you to start singing opera for me here in a few moments.
I did not do that.
Fine, that's quite all right. I'll come, but that's not the real reason I was. No, in reality though, I live stream in my vehicle.
Yep.
You're off camera, so I want to protect your privacy that way. But just heads up so you know what you want to talk about or not talk about when you're interacting with me. If
I
you
saw the phone and I was like, oh, is he live streaming?
Oh, I see. Yes. If you're starting your day right now, I know a lot of people who would envy your lifestyle.
Yeah, it's one of my days off.
Oh, nice.
So I work traditional Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 jobs.
You don't.
No.
Which means you don't get your weekends off. Guaranteed. Oh,
so this is basically my Saturday.
Okay. I guess there's some perks to that, right?
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Do you ever have FOMO though when you see others on weekends off doing their things collectively together and saying, oh, that would be a nice option?
Not usually. I'm pretty... Like, I say like I have a decent social life.
Yeah.
Even without being,
available weekends.
Weekends off.
Yeah. Which is lovely.
Yeah, I usually like to. I usually try to make time for people, like after work as well.
Amazing.
Like, I'm not a person who just kind of goes after work.
Yeah. You're available.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, I've heard this thing where many adults will say it's really challenging to make friends and connections in their grown-up years.
Yeah.
Do you find the same in your experience, or is that different for you?
I think it's definitely more difficult.
Yeah.
I have a good group of friends, like 6 or 7 guys who have known for 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
These friends of them in beginning of high school kind of time.
Okay.
Just kind of stayed in contact and remained pretty good friends.
And they're still here too.
Yeah,
Which is
they're all still
awesome.
here. If anything, I was the one who moved away.
Okay.
At East for university.
Oh wow.
So,
Okay.
Yeah. Definitely a little more typical.
So you rely more on those core connections that you've developed
Yeah.
over time.
Yeah, I think so. There's lots of different personalities in the groups. There's always something different that people want to do.
Yeah.
We recently started doing like a guys' night monthly. So like obviously there's other stuff going on, in the weeks. But
Yeah.
This is something that we can all kind of get together on. And some of us are out of town during the regular weeks.
Yeah.
So we started doing that the past couple months.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's been enjoyable. We've had a lot of fun with
I love that.
it.
I have some friends in Edmonton who are doing something similar,
Yeah.
but more intentionally saying, hey, like, how can we as guys get together and get support each other
Yeah.
and have community and that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
I like the idea. I think it's still unusual when it happens,
Yeah.
because not many guys think that way, right? Saying intentionally we're going to do this.
Yeah.
It's almost like countercultural in a certain sense, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
It's complicated because, like, I think it's not hard, but you do have to be intentional about things if you
Yeah.
want them to
Happen.
last or
Yeah.
improve.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And it speaks to some sense of self-awareness as well.
yeah, I'd agree with that.
Mm-hmm. And finding people who are like-minded.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Do you find it difficult?
So,
Meet people? I guess?
no.
I mean, you're live streaming it and Ubering, so like,
True.
obviously a very comfortable person.
Yeah, I was even thinking as you were talking, like, if I were to like come into the midst of your friends like one night,
Yeah.
I would totally find myself at home.
Yeah.
And I don't even know you guys.
Yeah.
But there's almost that sense of confidence that I show up with,
Mhm.
saying, this is how it's gonna go. So to that end, I do enjoy meeting people and making quality connections. And my baby sister was saying to me a few weeks ago, she's like, I was telling her, Danielle, how I was dancing that prior weekend, and I told her how I was there early and there was no one on the dance floor, and I was in heaven because on the dance floor I move a lot and I take up space. So I'm
Yeah.
always like scouting the area for where is there space that I can take up again, right? And when there's no one on the dance floor, I'm in heaven, like all to myself, right? And she just looks at me and she's like, you've got like no social anxiety. And it's like, I guess not, right? And so to that end, I think I'm socially aware, so I can kind of gauge if I have permission, not permission, but if I've earned trust to engage with someone, and hear their story or interact with them.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I could make friends with a rock on the side of the road,
Yeah.
I don't struggle this way. Thankfully, I'm grateful for that. Like, so grateful, right? So when I hear most adults saying this, I can understand where they might be coming from. I try to, no, do I try to empathize? No, I say I get where it's coming from. It's just not my experience. Yeah.
Totally.
But finding those good, like, I've got a really close group of friends that I cultivate intentional time with, and both men and women too. But what I tell them is, I'm so grateful that I know you now. Because, I mean, in the pathway that I have before me is, I'm just starting off here. This is like very, very beginning for me. But I have high expectations of where it's going to go. I know my skill set and what could happen, right? And so one of the things I'm aware of is I tell them, at some point when things tip in my future, when I'm more well-known, when I have influence, when I have money, when the dynamics change, it's at that time that it's going to be far more difficult for me to determine people's motivations for wanting to have time with me. Then, like, I think I remember a proverb that says a rich man has no want for friends. Everyone wants to be his friend, right? Everyone wants a piece of him in that season, right? And it's in those times that I find it'll be more challenging to nuance the intentions that people have when they're approaching you. So I just tell them now, I'm so grateful you're in my life now, because I know your motivation is driven by actually me, right?
Yeah. Honestly,
Yeah. Even when I didn't have any of these other things that could be very confusing for other people to say, what am I really interested in, right?
Yeah.
It's not that I won't find them in the future, it's just more, it'll take more time. It'll take more time to like determine.
And it's always a thought in the back of your head.
Yeah, it can be. And the other part that I find helpful for me is I kind of understand human nature. So I get when that happens, right? But, and I also make space that people change. And I think for me, it just takes some time to determine a person's motivations. It takes me time. So when I meet someone, I usually like, by principle, just give them a blank slate saying, I don't care what you're dressed like. I don't care, like, you know, what your background is. What I am interested in is who are you now at this moment that I get to interact with you.
Yeah.
What has life been like for you, and how do you, you know, carry on and figure out your values and so on. And so along those lines, that takes time. And I don't want to read a book by its cover when it comes to people.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm really inspired that you're doing that with your group of guys.
Yeah, I hope it goes on for a long time and we can make it work.
I'm guessing that your friends have also, like, it's not that you're all keeping the same sort of place in life where you're all single, but like they've also embarked on their own relationships and experiences and careers and things like that, which brings even more diversity and more experience into the group then, right?
Yeah, it's always interesting because that's time that's specifically set away for the guys, and multiple of them have partners, so it's
Yeah.
something that we have to try to like keep in mind.
Yeah.
For example, our next one is it just happens to overlap with one of my friend's birthdays.
Okay.
So we're it'll turn into a little bit of a birthday thing.
Yeah.
But you know, I text his girlfriend and I was like, hey, like, just want to make sure, like, you don't have any plans with him this night. Like, is there anything, do we need to move anything around? It works.
Yeah. So true.
Yeah, and you know, they had plans in the afternoon and we're just gonna do something stupid. So
Okay.
it worked out all nicely.
Yeah.
But it definitely adds a layer of complex to it.
Remind me again, how big is your group of friends? Did you say like
7, 8.
Okay, which is no small feats, right?
Yeah.
To like coordinate schedules. That's a whole bunch of schedules to like keep track of. I was remembering my experience. So like I, yeah, like there was a time when in a similar setting, I had to determine like my availability as well too, right? So my best friend and I, when we were growing up, we were so close, and we said, when we grow up, we're going to get married at the same time. Which means, of course, our wives don't have any other option, but they're going to be best friends too.
Yeah.
And we'll plan our family schedule in the same sequence as well. And of course, our kids are going to be besties, and we'll just do all life together.
Yeah.
In reality, the way it turned out is he got married a decade before I did.
Wow. Yeah.
And when he got married, I was his best man. And in my speech, I said, customarily, it's the dad of the bride who gives her away.
Yeah.
You know, figuratively.
Yeah.
In my case, I feel like I'm the dad, and it feels to me like I'm giving away my best friend. But I do it with all my heart here, because in the course of their relationship, I of course noticed the shift in priority in our time together, right? And it was a good thing. I'm like, this is a good thing. Like, he's going on with his life. He's met this beautiful person. So there's no sense of begrudging, where I was like, what about me? I'm left behind. I want my time. It's more like, no, I get that you need to spend time with her and get to invest in this. And so by the time the wedding came along, it was the kind where, at that speech I said, I, with all my heart, give you away to your bride, because this is your new commitment in life, basically. Not to mean that our friendship is no more. It's just more like along the lines of, you live life now, and I'll watch and cheer you on from the sidelines, right? Yeah.
It's a growing of the relationship.
I like that. In a way that others might say, but you lost him. I said, not really. Like, we can't erase those experiences and investments that we've already made.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think also in my life, I've been blessed with just really good friendships all along, you know? And I've seen the powerful impact that having the wrong group of friends can do on an individual and totally running amok their trajectory in life, right? Yeah. There's also a factor of that too that I think about, Daniel, in the word influence. Some people are easily influenced. Other people are more influencers, right? And I mean, influencer is a big catchphrase now, but even before it was, it's this exchange of sorts where some people are just wired to be easily influenced, which is not a bad thing. And when I get to interact with those individuals, I look for the opportunity just to encourage them, saying, you have a powerful space to choose who's going to influence you, you know? So don't just like get influenced blindly, but just be very judicious in who gets to have access to you, especially in those zones that are the influential parts. And then to those who have a big personality and influence, it's just more like steward well influence, steward it well, because it has some those that you get to share space with. Yeah. I could see you like decades from now, still in this setting.
Yeah.
I've met some older folks like that who have decades behind them, and it's a sweet thing to see. Yeah. Because I guess starting all over again is a very vulnerable feeling for many. Saying, how do I open up again and learn to trust and find those places that are worthy of my vulnerable zone.
It's definitely difficult. I've had to move across country a couple times, so I've definitely been.
You've seen that, yeah. See, I moved quite a bit as well in my life. I hate moving. And starting all over again, and but yeah, you know what really helps me with lack of social anxiety, as my sister would say, is I feel like a strong. I remember things from my past really well by way of lessons and memories. And I remember when I first moved to this country once upon a time, there was a very palpable, tangible experience I had of not being invited into community. So I felt very much the effects of isolation outside the community, you know. In time, though, I sort of learned and mastered this culture here really well that I can now navigate so easily. I can, like I say, walk into a room of strangers and
Just make conversation.
absolutely, and find my place and get to know the community really well. But I think a huge part of that has driven my desire and motivation to have an awareness of who are the ones who are on the outside looking in, who are the ones who want to have a seat at the table, who are the ones that wants to connect. And there's something about the human experience where you can be seen for who you are. And in my estimation, the story in my mind that makes sense is so many of us feel that sense of isolation because no one actually knows who we truly are. Because it's a very scary thing. The story in most of our minds is if anyone actually ever find out who the real me is, I'd be right off. You know what I'm saying? And so there's just this shell that we've learned to create to preserve and protect that inner core. But in reality, like, we want to be seen. We want to be seen in a way where we don't get ripped apart. We want to be seen in a way where we feel safe and affirmed and encouraged and all the things, right? We just think we're not good enough. So I think that's what drives my social confidence. Someone earlier was saying social battery, and I'm like, oh, there's a unique analogy I've never thought of it. But I guess there is, like, my social battery, if you will, is continually full because I feel what I desired in connection. And so now that I have it, I love making space for others to experience it as well too. Yeah.
Social batteries are interesting.
Yeah. Another way that I've heard psychologists help their patients understand it is the concept of spoons. I don't know if you've heard of that one.
I've heard the reference. I'm not sure I'm familiar with the
How it makes
the
sense?
concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from my understanding, it's like you have a certain amount of spoons. Let's say we all have 10 spoons to get through a day. Each spoon represents like a unit of energy. So whereas for me, who is very energetic and outgoing, I can make one spoon last till like 3 o'clock in the afternoon and have so much more energy or spoons left over still to do all the things. Whereas for someone just getting out of bed, it probably cost them 7 spoons. And now they only have 3 units of energy to like, I guess, measure how they're going to spend through the day. So it's a really helpful analogy to be able to say, what does an individual have on offer by way of like what they have, how they can extend themselves. And it also like makes it more accessible so that you're not comparing yourself saying, why am I not like that person? They're able to do so much when I can't do anything, you know? It's more like, here's what the cost is for you on the individual level, and here's the decisions you have to figure out to be able to make what you have on offer last. That's how I understand that. Very helpful analogy, especially by way of engendering empathy, that not everyone is built the same, right? Yeah, like I haven't slept for, I think, 4 days now in a row.
Jeez,
I'm kidding. You're like,
I have some friends who
oh, like that.
go,
I was
not 4
like that.
days, but,
I
yeah.
was like that once upon a time. Not anymore. No, I know, I was only teasing. But no, I tease. But again, just to carry that point that
Yeah.
we're built different,
Mhm.
and it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
I appreciate the conversation. Thank you, Daniel.
Yeah, of course.
It was really good and insightful. How are you beginning your day off?
Well, I'm gonna go to this bakery.
Cool.
I used to live in this neighborhood, so I figured I'd come stop by, pick up some croissants.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna go down to Fish Creek, which is the park down here.
Yes.
And then one of my friends is going to take some photos for me, which I'm gonna use for my mother's gift for Christmas instead.
Oh my goodness. This is brilliant.
That's the whole plan right now.
I love that, brother. This is really icy here, isn't it? Goodness. Wow. That is amazing. And this is the bakery here.
Yeah.
Oh man.
If you ever get a chance to
Yes.
ever down this way, I would recommend it. They do breakfast and stuff too.
Okay.
Excellent.
Thank you for the recommendation.
Yeah, of
Daniel, I
course.
hope our paths cross again.
Yeah, of course not.
Enjoy time with you, brother. You're good now there.
You too.
Okay.
Have a good stream.
Cheerio. Isn't he fantastic? I'll remember that. This bakery is called the Patisserie du Soleil. Noted. I will remember that. That was good. That was wonderful. Oh, every once in a while the app says, hey, prove that you are who you are by taking a picture of yourself. And so you just gotta pose, and then they do a quick check just as a security measure to make sure that you're the right person on the account, basically. Well, that was a fun engagement there, wasn't it? With Daniel. Thank you for listening in. I will catch you guys on the next live. Bye.